It's Sunday the 6th of January 2013. A normal Sunday morning in the Dagg household is to get up, ride out the horses and head point-to-pointing. This Sunday morning's a little bit different and a little bit busier because it's our own point-to-point in Tinahely. We've a runner today and my little sister Anya rides him. He runs in the open and his name is Arctic Mick. So my mum Mary's the secretary and has been for 32 years I think. She's been running around like a headless chicken all week and had us doing pretty much the same thing. My dad John, he's the clerk of the course and he's been busy preparing the course all week as well with his assistant Jed Kelly. There's only myself and my little sister Anya in the family. We can fight like cats and dogs from time to time, but at the back of it all we do absolutely anything for each other. When I was point-to-pointing, I think Anya was maybe 9 or 10 when she used to get Una's Choice ready for me to ride in point-to-points.
And John Norden and myself coaxed her into doing secretary for 1 year, and 32 years later we're still here.
Well, at that stage it was much more difficult. Everything was handwritten. You had to take all the entries, photocopy them, get them to the printers. Now it's all computerised, so it's a much easier job. Chasing sponsors, which has gone a much more difficult job in the present climate. Lay out the race card. Organise all the officials on the day, which are numerous: fence stewards, doctors, vets. That's basically it then. On the day then take the declarations, make sure all your officials are in place and ready to start. Public address, literally anything that's to be organised. That's my job.
I'm 21 years old and I'm in college in Dublin, so the horses are a kind of a part-time hobby, more so I'm a full-time student. I'm studying biomedical science in UCD, so I'd prefer to have more time with the horses, but sure, it's hard done maybe after this year. I'm in final year now.
There's always been horses in the Dagg household, so it was kind of second nature to be involved in them. From a very young age I've always had an interest in horses and always been involved in them. I think I was 8 when I went to the Shillelagh Pony Club, and I'd done lots of show jumping, eventing, hunter trials, tetrathlon, pony games. Got involved in it all. There was definitely no room for any other sport in my life.
My love of horses, I suppose, came from my dad mainly. He was always into his horses, and from a very young age I would have been exposed to horses. I came up through the Shillelagh Pony Club, worked my way up. I started there when I was 7 and sure, kept going, and I'm still in it, and I've worked up to an instructor's capacity now, so it's nice to be able to start giving back to the club that's gave so much to me.
The point-to-point is a very important fundraiser for the hunt. The hunt itself wouldn't be in funds to keep it running. Insurance is very costly, so it's important that we have a good number of runners and a good successful point-to-point. We run a point-to-point in the autumn as well, but that wouldn't bring in as much revenue because we wouldn't have the same amount of sponsorship.
Before our point-to-point in Tinahely, I'd always be helping mum and dad out. Before the point-to-point, I'd bring the car down to the printers and then usually collect it on a Thursday or Friday evening. On the morning of the point-to-point, we'd load up the jeeps and bring everything over to the field. I'd usually, help get the number cloths out, get the scales, make sure that it's weighing correctly and help mum with declarations. Then my favourite bit of the day, I suppose, is flying around on the quad, bringing jockeys up and down to the parade ring and collecting anyone who's parted company along the way.
Third, second, premium, 14, hot shots is 5, and everybody's following a good way back in 6, like there, and when I finish will be clear.
I've worked on the Clerk of the Course for I don't know how many years, but I was working with the Clerk of the Course when I was in Collatton, and that was John Dorden and there was Percival Dagg, and then I have moved on to here, and now I have worked here with Ivor Carney, and I also worked with John Dorden and Colin Jackson and David Nolan. They were all fellas I worked with, and Jed Kelly now at the present time. And they were all brilliant men to work and get the thing done. For the October point, you'd be starting at scratch, and all those gates and parade rings and all. And there's a group of men who take on that particular job and do that, right? And then myself and Jed starts by putting out the fences and the wings and the corners, and you get everything, the gaps ready and that sort of thing. And when that's done, a fellow with name Michael Donoghue drops in here. He's the inspector of the courses. He comes along and he says he wants this done and that done, and he gives you a list to do, and he has inspected that course and he'll tell you what to do, and you have to go along and check that and make sure everything is done. And on the day then there'll be someone else will come and they have a report from the secretary, since Michael Donoghue left, and they go around and check that everything that was supposed to be done is done. That's about the general. But that's easy to say that, but there's more work to it than just saying it. You know what I mean? You have to. You talk about it quick, but you'll get hiccups along the way that you'll have to overcome, holes and banks and bad ground and all that. You know what I mean? You'll have bits of hiccups that way.
After getting my licence, I rode in a bumper in Naas, which really didn't appeal to me. I was mad to get over the jumps. Then my first point-to-point was in Ballon, and I was distraught that day. It was called off because of the fog, but they ran it the next weekend, and I had a lovely old horse, Una's Choice, and he gave me a great spin for my first day out, and I ended up being third. In 2002 or 2003 season, I rode my first winner. John Stafford was good enough to give me a spin on Native Rainbow, and I won down in Wexford as part of the Bewley series. That's where I rode my first winner, and it's definitely a day that I won't forget. My second winner was Friends at Last, a horse of our own, and it was actually here on my local track in Tinnahealy. I remember going out on the last lap, and I just kind of ended up in front, which I didn't expect. I knew he'd be very competitive, but he was, an older horse with cheek pieces. He definitely didn't want to be in front too long. And going down along the back, there was a couple of fences there. Couldn't believe I was still travelling so well. Then coming into the second last, I don't know who was doing more huffing or puffing, myself or the horse, but luckily enough we got across the finish line in front.
Towards the second last fence, it's Friends at Last with the advantage comes to it. Friends at Last over in front and drawing further clear.
John himself rode point-to-points in the 70s, early 80s would have been his last point-to-points. He won 11 on his own horse, Jack's Back. Look back, I'm not sure how many he won on him, but it was much more of an amateur sport then. It's gone very competitive now. At that stage, trainers weren't running horses in point-to-points, and I suppose you hadn't the same crowds at it at that stage.
The difference in racing is the point-to-point that time was on Collatton in the Estate, and now it's in Fairwood Park. And I rode my first winner ever on Collatton Estate and a point-to-point there, and I went on then to win that same race 3 years in a row. And then a few years after, I had a winner in it, a horse called Jazzar Power, and I had another horse that I won 11 races on, a horse called Jack's Back, and he was a super horse and he won 3 chases after, but I was unfortunate not to be able to do the weight to ride him in the Hunters chases. So that's about it. But like, things haven't changed very much. Horses was good then, and there was good horses then, and there's still good horses. There was bad horses then too, of course.
rode Pint of Pints around here for a good few years, and I was on the hunt committee, and I ended up chairman then. I was chairman for 8 years. So we're just involved in horses for a bit of crack, and I have 2 sons riding Pint of Pints now, so Aaron and Barry. So Aaron had his first win here on Logan Lass. She won 6 races here altogether. She won 9 races altogether, 8 Pint of Pints and a Hunter's Chase. So we've bred a foal over there this year. So.
Huntsman over the last 8 seasons. We have 17 and a half couple hounds at home in the kennels. Then the winner here, 1 winner in the mayor's race here. That's back in 2004, I'd say it is. Good day it was.
My first ride in a Point to Point was here in Fairwood in 2008 on a horse called What's the Rush by Hubbly Bubbly. Please, it's too heavy for me. Conservative energy. She's carrying my lead bag. I'm in college, so no, I don't get to ride out the horse every day. My sister Maria would rush home from work, and sure she'd be riding out. So I did the same for her when she was in college. So hopefully she doesn't mind returning the favour. I'd love to be at home and be riding out every day, and he'd be much fitter and in a better capacity for race riding. The horse Arctic Mick that I'm riding today, I got him from Liam Lennon. I rode him for Liam for the first twice I rode him. So this is the first day that he's running in our own colours and in my dad's name. Usually there's very few girls riding, but yeah, I don't think you're treated any differently. Everyone's out for themselves, everyone's in it to win it and do their best. So it'd be lovely if they did go easy on you, alright, that'd be great, but no, unfortunately not. But they would help you and guide you a certain amount. My sister rode a lot of ladies races, and she competed in a Bewley series, which she was 2nd and 3rd in, and that's not there anymore, and it was kind of an incentive for lady riders to keep at it and gave them a chance to really get going. So it's a pity that's not there. It'd be nice to reintroduce some series like that.
Well, you'd be delighted for her, and you'd be a little bit uptight and hoping she'd go well and safe, and that's about it. Like, I mean, what more can you do? And ready to meet her when she's coming back and ask her how she got on and did she enjoy her spin, and that's about it.
It sounds strange, but I'd be very nervous when they're riding, and in a way would prefer they weren't. But yet I know it's what they like doing and they get a great buzz out of it. So for that reason, I like to see them doing it. And Maria was lucky in the horses we got for her. It was very easy to get an open horse coming back from the track then. But now all those open horses are coming back. The top trainers are running them, and they're much more costly to buy.
Keep as much as you can in the tank to come back up the hill. Nurse them for as much as you can,
yeah,
and enjoy your spin.
Okay, thank
right?
you. Yeah, thanks.
Right, thank you.
Riders, please.
Right.
Go ahead, riders. Right, riders, please.
Arctic Mick, he's a 12-year-old gelding by Arctic Lord out of Lanatay. I actually do be quite calm. I don't generally have a problem with nerves or... Yeah, the racing, I just enjoy it. I don't think I'd be able to... I don't think I'd do it if I didn't enjoy it as much as I do.
Result of the best turned out in the 3rd race, the open night race, Arctic Mink, number 3, trained by John Dagg, owned by Anya Dagg and ridden by Anya Dagg.
The lead up to the race today, I'll be busy, which is grand. It'll keep my mind off of it. I'll go down then to watch the race down in the middle of the track. I like to get away from everybody, and I'll jump every jump with Anya. If anybody was watching me, they'd see the leg going up in the air. Just get around safe.
I really enjoyed the spin. It was a great spin as always. I jumped off about third-ish and kind of went up, creeped up along, and he was a little bit strong. So he didn't just settle the way I would have preferred him to settle. But anyway, going down the hill, he jumped great, and he jumped all fences super. Didn't get home. The ground was a bit tough, so a bit testing out there today, and there's a lot of horses finishing tired, and we can see that very obvious in all the races. So yeah, the ground was tough, so hopefully going back to Ballydara in a couple of weeks, because he ran there previous in his last run, and it was much better than today. He got home, it was a drier track, and he really seemed to appreciate the bit of better ground.